You are about to witness history in the making.
Hello, good evening and welcome everyone to another show of the Pop Culture Gamers podcast. My name's Haydn and I'm here as always with my good friend Steve. Steve, how are you?
I'm dandy, as they say.
You're dandy?
Not the highwayman, but you know.
Okay, so why are you dandy then,
I'm
Steve?
just in a good mood, that's all, don't worry. I'm on a high from last night probably, but there you go.
Why, what happened last night?
Well, I didn't get to bed till about 2 o'clock in the morning.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Anything sordid, we hope?
Well, it was four of us in a room together. And I weren't playing Destiny, so there, what can I say?
Were you listening to Swing Out Sister?
I tell you, there was some funny moves going on with the move controllers, but we'll talk about that later.
Okay, well, we'll talk about that shortly. So, what else has been happening with you then, Steve?
Well, not really a lot. I've had a few emails, so I've had a backlog of pre-ordered, which paid for, shall I say, vinyl.
Mm-hmm.
And 3 are en route within about 3 days of each other. So it's which one's going to get here first. But one's not actually coming up on the tracker yet, so I don't know if it's actually been dispatched, but 2 of them are on their way. So look forward to seeing them come in the post in the next week.
Mm-hmm.
Was it Halloween? The 4K edition is on its way. Should be with me tomorrow. On the original John Carpenter movie, so I look forward to seeing that. Gaming, there has been a lot of Destiny, which I'm not really going to talk a lot about, because something else has stopped me playing Destiny, which is hard to believe, isn't it?
It must be absolutely mind-blowing to stop you playing Destiny.
It has, and I did play a bit of, because I haven't got the Game Pass back yet. Just to have a bit of a chat about it, I did jump onto the Forza Horizon demo just to give that a look as well. Bit of TV this week. The Good Place, of course, come back.
Yay! And more about that later.
Yeah, and sat down with the missus and we watched the last movie Star with Burt Reynolds and thoroughly enjoyed that as well. So loads to talk about.
Very cool.
How about yourself, pal?
Well, it was my last week in my old job.
Oh, yeah,
so,
of course, yeah.
Yeah, so I've had 6 years and 2 weeks. 3 weeks, actually. Not that I've been counting, but I have.
Did they give you a gold watch when you leave, or what, or not?
No, they did actually do a whip around, to be honest, and I got movie cinema pass, gift cards.
Oh, okay.
Well, I know that I like going to cinema, so, for the View Cinema, so nearest one to me is Middlesbrough. I'll probably go there with my friend John. We often go, and I think that there's a few good films coming out very shortly, like Venom, for example. So quite looking forward to seeing that. So I'll probably use that, probably take my son and my wife to the cinema as well, because you've got to do these family things, haven't you?
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to the cinema, I must admit, because it's the 1st of October tomorrow.
It is.
Which means Halloween is round the corner.
Yeah, not far off.
And that kicks, I think the movie's out on the 16th, so I'm probably going to go and see that.
Yeah.
Probably that weekend, actually, which would be what's that? If it's no, it won't be the 16th, that's the Tuesday, isn't it? I've got that in my brain in a minute, haven't I? It's probably the end of that week, but yeah, no, looking forward to seeing that as well. And some other movies I've been trying to getting some pre-order tickets for some special screenings that are going on for Escape from New York, by the way.
Yes.
I'm trying to get a ticket for that, but none of the cinemas are showing them what they're doing it with yet at the moment, so just keep an eye out for that. But yeah, all good.
So, my last day though, it was an audit.
So you didn't have an easy day then?
No, I didn't have an easy day for the last day, to be quite honest with you. No, I ended off with an audit, which I hate doing audits, to be quite honest.
Yeah.
I'm all right at them. I just don't like doing them very much, but it was interesting. I think that's a way of putting it.
But you didn't care though, did you? Really?
To be honest, I'm not that. I care right up until the day that I leave.
Yeah.
That was when I worked for the ISA. I worked solid right up until I clocked off. It's just the type of person I am, to be honest. I know
what you mean, but that last day, surely that, feet up. I don't give a damn, really. It doesn't bother me anymore.
No, I mean, to be honest, I mean, I have my successor, whose name is Jonathan, so, and he also is a bit of a gamer. He said he's going to listen out to the show. So, Jonathan, if you're listening today, hello, welcome to the team, and, it was nice meeting you. Yeah. So Jonathan did all of the typing in that. To be honest, I felt a bit sorry for him because he was feverishly typing away while we were doing this audit. But I ended up doing some things that, around the audit process while we were doing the audit because we were just trying out some new things. So it was like really interesting, kind of day. But by 4 o'clock I was feeling pretty brain dead after doing audits because they are long days. We went out for a meal as well as a team, which was really nice. Got lots of nice comments from people from various different organisations who I work with. So I was really pleased with that. Other than that, not really a lot other than just looking forward to starting my new role, doing safeguarding adults because, I have to admit I've been sort of joking on with them quite a bit, in the office because obviously it's safeguarding children board. So I've turned around to them and I said, well, when you want an adult conversation, come over and talk to me. But that's just my humour, Of
course.
So, so that's about it, really. It's been otherwise a pretty uneventful week. Just, going to work, finishing, that sort of stuff.
Humdrum stuff, eh?
Yeah, but gaming-wise, I have completed a game. More about that later on. Started another, couple of games, actually. One of which I've had in my catalogue for a long time and not done anything with. So I'll, talk more about that later on as well.
Cool.
Okay. So that's it for the intros, unless you've got anything else to add, Steve?
No, it's plenty more to talk about rather than my humdrum lives today.
Yes, indeed, there is. Okay, so in that case then, we'll go on to Gaming This Week.
No longer a dream, but a reality.
All right, so we have news, don't we?
Yeah,
lots of news, actually.
Yeah, there's a fair bit, and I missed out. I didn't get to. Was it the Xbox thing they do every now and then that was on? Was that this week they did it when you got your first piece of news?
I can't remember. To be honest, I read the first piece of news rather than the weekly show that they do inside Xbox.
Yeah, didn't you watch that one? I'm sure you were talking about that the other day.
No, I don't really get that often to watch inside Xbox. It's more what I pick up. To be honest, most of the stuff I pick up is through Flipboard because, when I've got a spare 5 minutes, I'll have a quick flip through that.
Have a quick flip through your Flipboard, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. So it's a great little app that if you've never used it before, what you do is you just tell it what you like and add your social media streams in, and then it just delivers it all to you, and you literally just flip each page, and you read it like a book.
Yes, I have used it before on one of my phones. I haven't put it on this one though, but yeah.
Yeah. Oh, it's one of my core apps that I wouldn't do without. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That along with the Xbox app, Facebook, Twitter, and what other apps do I use?
PlayStation?
No, Netflix. I don't use the PlayStation app very much, to be honest.
I would do when I was chatting to people on it, when I'm not on the actual machine itself.
Occasionally I'll do that. Destiny app I used to use a lot, but I don't really use that anymore.
We don't play Destiny though, do you, really?
I do play Destiny. I've been on Destiny this week just because I don't talk about it, and just because you're not there when it's on.
Yeah, okay.
Or when I'm on.
Yeah, when you're on, yeah.
Yeah. Hot UK Deals, that's another app that I use a lot, and the other one's Amazon, so they're my sort of like main apps that I use every week.
Yeah.
But certainly for news, I love Flipboard. It just makes it accessible, and plus the fact I find out lots of stuff that I wouldn't have found out otherwise. Like, for example, did you know that in Star Trek, well, you do know because I sent you this link, but other people wouldn't know. So this would probably more go on the movie side, but I'll talk about it now.
Yeah.
Did you know that James Blish, in his Star Trek books, established where Vulcan was?
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I know what you're on about now. Yeah.
Yeah, and scientists have looked at that star, which is a real star, and have identified that there is a planet in the habitable zone, the Goldilocks zone, around the star, an Earth-sized sort of planet. So they have found Vulcan. Peace and long life.
Peace. Live long and prosper.
Oh, live long and prosper.
God, mate, call yourself a Star Trek fan.
So, that's fiction emulated science there, isn't it?
Always is for Star
Or
Trek.
science emulated fiction. It's one way or the other, but, great thing to find out about for all of us Star Trek fans. Anyway, moving on to the gaming news. Xbox One keyboard, mouse and support. So Xbox is enabling in the latest, previews, mouse and keyboard support for the Xbox One for select Xbox insiders. So this will be us where we're in the alpha, sort of like super duper alpha before everybody else gets it phase.
Let's break it for everyone else.
Yeah. We test the broken operating systems, so you don't have to. But not that it's ever really been that broken for us. But mouse and keyboard support is going to be added basically on a game-by-game title. Microsoft has said, or Phil Spencer has said in an interview, that this isn't going to be everybody has to produce it. From the Microsoft point of view, it's the developers who know whether or not on a title-by-title basis they want to take this up. It's not something they're going to force on developers. And for all titles that are already out there, nothing will change. Controller support will still be there. But, mouse keyboard input is not enabled by default for games. So it's very much a developer sort of side of things. And while most wired keyboards and mice will work, Microsoft has also partnered with Razer to bring about, new Microsoft mouse and keyboard experience for this new functionality as well. So what do you think, Steve? Destiny keyboard and mouse.
Do you know what? The way I play gaming in my lounge, it wouldn't be any good on a keyboard and mouse, to be honest.
So I thought you were going to say, by the way that you play Destiny, it wouldn't be any good.
No, but if you're sitting at a desk and you're playing, I think it's like, that's fine, PC and mouse.
Yeah, I mean, my sort of setup, it'll be absolutely perfect because, I've got, my TV with an area immediately in front of it.
Yeah.
And I can sit and play Destiny with a keyboard and mouse directly in front of my screen. Absolutely no problem. But for your setup where, your TV's at one side of the room, you're at the other. I mean, you're going to be able to plug in a wireless.
Yeah, I've done that before.
Keyboard and mouse, but then you're looking at latency.
Yeah. And actually, how you've got to sit correctly, you've got to have a mouse, and you've got to be able to put it on something to use it properly, and,
But those solutions are already there. They're called coffee tables.
Yeah. My coffee table's overrun with the missus stuff anyway, so I wouldn't get back on that again. It's the wrong side of me anyway. But I suppose it'd be handy for texting, I suppose, if you want to leave it sitting there.
Well, that's all. To be honest, keyboard support's already there for sending messages because I've many a time plugged in a keyboard when I've been talking to people and done it that way. I mean,
they put a new smaller keyboard in on the Alpha at the minute, which I've downloaded recently for that as well, which works pretty much well. I'm quite handy with that. That's pretty much the way I do it. Yeah. But I suppose something like Diablo could be handy to do it with, isn't it? Keyboard and mouse.
Oh no! To be honest, I think that Diablo's a much better experience with a controller than a keyboard and mouse. Just simply, I'm speaking as that from playing it as a PC gamer.
Yeah.
I'm going to consoles. I think that the console version is much better. It's got much slicker menus. The controls are better. To be honest, you're just as accurate as well. And also, there are things that you can do, I feel, with the controller you can't do with a keyboard and mouse. In terms of, the control mechanism, because you tend to stop, or what my character always seems to stop when he starts firing, whereas you can run and fire in the console version, which completely is a game changer.
Yeah, yeah.
But, things like Call of Duty, Fortnite, for example,
I think there is going to be one little sticky wicket for this, is if you start getting people on Xbox playing with keyboard and mouse.
Yeah.
Let's say they're pretty good at it, just how the way that the peripherals work against a controller. You're going to start getting a little bit of a backlash between people on controller and then with keyboard and mouse, don't you think?
Well, to be honest, there's a surprising number of people, PC gamers, who choose to use a controller anyway.
Yeah.
So, to say PC players use keyboard and mouse is a fallacy, to be honest. So, personally, I think that you've already got that in the PC market already. But some, I can't remember which game it was. Was it Fortnite or something like that? They were looking at the peripherals that people are using and matchmaking people appropriately.
Yeah.
So, as long as they're doing that sort of thing as well, I mean, to be quite honest, in terms of the way that I play Crucible, I don't think it'd matter. But, not that I'm bad at Crucible, but it's just, not highly practiced on it either. But that, if they do that sort of thing for the multiplayer games, that would be a better thing. So it gives a more equal playing field.
Yeah, possibly. I just think there's obviously with other news we've got at the moment coming, which is just below what which you might want to bring in with this at the same time. Well,
do you want to talk about that one?
Yeah, so PlayStation have finally given in to the masses to allow crossplay. And
as they put it, after a comprehensive evaluation process, or as everybody else puts it, the fans complaining like mad and thinking, oh, we're going to be losing people, maybe we better do something.
Yeah, it's just ridiculous, Phil, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
So, with the idea of crossplay, they're going to give it to Fortnite, first of all, and do a test with that, see how that works. Hopefully, for those that play Fortnite, good on you. I'm sure you'll all enjoy it. But then come to other games where we could have it. Just Destiny comes to mind. That PlayStation Xbox mix would work well.
It would.
I think I think there's a lot of people even within the community with us that some are on either or. But to actually, when you want to get 4 people to play a game, and you've got the other side there to join in there, I think it's great. I mean, just wish they'd done it bloody sooner, to be honest. But that's again if it works, because this is baby steps for them at the moment.
Well, we do know it does work on other platforms. There's no reason it shouldn't work on PlayStation. And at the end of the day, all it is just sending a data stream of these characters are in this position, isn't it? And bullets are flying in this direction.
And I'm going to talk about something later on to do with cross-platforms as well. But yeah, absolutely. And I've experienced cross-platforms this weekend.
With a PC?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
they're already doing it.
Yeah.
To a limited degree in select games.
But the proper crossplay for some of the bigger stuff, Xbox have asked them and they said no, and Nintendo have asked them, they said get lost. So
yeah,
we'll see how that pans out. Really, it can only be a good thing though, at the end of the day.
I agree, completely agree. Because are we moving towards a day eventually where we'll only have one console? I don't think that we'll ever get there, to be honest.
We'll still have the consoles, but there'd be more of I'm hoping less exclusives, maybe. But then there's one problem you're going to have. I just thought about this. Let's say Bungie decide that PlayStation and Xbox can play together.
Yeah.
So what happens about the exclusive DLC or bits and bobs that PlayStation has that Xbox don't have. Do you know what I mean? So you want to jump in a game, but sorry, you haven't got the PlayStation exclusive. You can't play that. Do you know what I mean?
Mate, you've already got that with some of the cosmetic items on Fortnite anyway.
Yeah.
You know, the exclusive Xbox outfits, the exclusive PlayStation outfits.
So with actual DLC maps that are exclusive, like strikes on the PlayStation.
Yeah.
You know, you wouldn't get them. You wouldn't get that with the Xbox, though, would you? They'd have to.
No.
They maybe bend the rules a bit for that.
To be honest, I think it's about time all of that stuff just ended.
Oh, I agree.
And I have to admit, in terms of the PlayStation maps on Destiny 1, where that happened, because you had that one where you had the Scions at the end. Do you remember? You had to kill those 3 Scions with different, different powers.
That was on Mars, wasn't it?
It was. And to be honest, it was our least favourite strike.
To be honest,
out of all of them, it wasn't exactly one that we missed.
There was a big sigh when that one used to pop up on the screen, wasn't there?
Well, a lot of the time we used to go, we're not playing that again, and we just used to quit the strike and try and restart it, didn't we, sometimes, because we just didn't like it.
No.
So, sometimes the exclusive content isn't, so, and let's face it, I'd rather have a thorn than a jade rabbit anytime.
Oh, God, yeah.
Yeah. So, sometimes exclusives don't offer all that they're supposed to. But anyway, that's another issue, and I'm quite sure there's lots of PlayStation players who disagree with those statements, and you're entitled to your opinion. So, sticking on the PlayStation side,
this is
another bit of news.
Bit of a come
no
down.
PlayStation Experience this year.
No.
So, PlayStation Worldwide Studio Chairman Sean Layden has confirmed that Sony will not be holding their PlayStation Experience, which you do on an annual basis. IGN have reported that Layden said, "We won't have it in the States this year. The reasons behind that are that we don't have, or we have a lot of progress that we're making towards games. Now that we have Spider-Man out the door, we're looking down into 2019 games like Dreams and Days Gone, but we wouldn't have enough to bring to people all together to some location in North America to have the event. We don't want to set expectations really high and then not deliver on it. It's a hard decision, but we've determined that this year we will not hold PlayStation Experience." So what that basically means is that you're not going to get many exclusives coming out for PlayStation in the next few months.
No.
That's what that sounds like to me. I don't know what it sounds like to you, Steve.
I can understand where it says that, because you know what they're like. They've been hammering the same trailers. For example, Spider-Man for 2 years now, isn't it? It seems.
But I mean, Spider-Man's been really super popular. I mean, even when you look at like my experience from EGX last week, where people were going and queuing for 2 hours to play the game when they could buy it at the show and go home and play it.
But what I mean is they were hammering the same sort of trailers for a couple of years, weren't they? Just teasing more of the same. Well,
look at The Last Guardian. I mean, that went on for a decade. But yeah, I know what you mean, and it's
so they've hit a brick wall probably. I mean, there are some great games still to come out.
There are loads of games to come out on there, and like Days Gone. I'm really looking forward to that one.
And The Last of Us 2 as well, which I'm looking forward to.
You see, I never really got on with The Last of Us, so I'm not bothered about that.
That is a wonderful game. You've got to play that. I know you...
I have played it. I just don't...
Didn't get there, did you?
It sometimes games just don't engage with you. And to be honest, I loved the opening chapter, where you were the girl, and there was, the zombie outbreak and all... hell was going on, and people running out in the road when you were in the car, and all of those sort of things. But when it came down to the playing of the game and all of the stealth bits that you had to do past those
screeches,
I hated
that. Honestly, but the payoff at the end was such a fantastic game.
It might well be, but it wasn't worth the pain barrier of going through that because I wasn't enjoying the gameplay.
Yeah, each to their own, really, isn't it?
Yeah, each to their own, and I know that I'm in the minority, but it doesn't mean that I'm wrong or right. You know, it's just how what my experience was for me. Just like, you know, you love Fallout. I don't like it, but it doesn't mean that either of us is wrong or right.
Oh, no.
It's just how we find the games. So, but I think it's a real shame because, you know, Sony's had so many wonderful exclusives for so long, and to have this sudden drought is a little bit strange, but we've got so many games coming in the first quarter. When you actually look forward a few months, there's so many games that are coming.
There's too many to play, and you're not going to get them all played to a certain degree. I'm certainly not going to be able to do that.
Well, look, last week, wasn't it? It was about 10 in January and February that were all quite big games to play.
You know, now I've been hyping myself up about the Red Dead after listening to IGN and a couple of other people on their playthroughs of that.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So it is. And, you know, Forza's out this week. I'd love to have Forza right now, but I don't need it in my life at the moment.
Well, I mean, I've got Game Pass and I'm going to get it when it's released.
Yeah. I thought it already had been released.
No, it's the 2nd, isn't it?
Oh, is it? Okay, next week.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? It's like, you know, you can only play one game at a time.
Yeah, that's always true. I know we're always going to be there. They're not going anywhere. That's the one thing that we always say as well, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, have you got any more news other than the PlayStation X?
No.
Can I bring something in then?
News. Yeah.
So let's spin it on the coin. We've got PlayStation with no event this year. But Microsoft have just announced the big XO18 event for November.
Yeah.
So Microsoft are hosting a big event later this fall, During the latest episode of Inside Xbox, the company have announced a new fan event dubbed XO18, a global celebration of all things Xbox scheduled to take place in Mexico City on November the 10th and the 11th. And past XOs have given us some great games that we never knew about. So we could get a couple of things we didn't know what to expect. Maybe, who knows?
Well, didn't they say that there was going to be 42 exclusives and whatever, or off console firsts?
Possibly.
And when we were at E3, they didn't actually show 42.
I can't remember now.
They showed less. They certainly showed less than what they said there was going to be.
Yeah. But looking at past XOs, they've always had a couple of announcements. I think, for example, Fable was an XO announcement one year. I think Halo was as well, so we'll see. But yeah, it's ironically that PlayStation aren't doing one this year, now Microsoft have announced one.
Yeah.
But hey ho, that's quite funny. So, what are we up to now? New releases?
Yeah, new releases. Do you want to go through those and I'll go through the chat?
Yeah, sure. Okay, so for the 2nd of the 10th, we have Fist of the North Star Lost Paradise on the PlayStation 4 from Sega. Forza Horizon 4, Xbox, and we have Mega Man 11, PS4, Xbox, Switch, and PC. For the 3rd, we have Astrobot Rescue Mission on the PSVR. Now, I want to talk about that in a minute. On the 5th, we have Assassin's Creed Odyssey on all platforms.
Can't wait for that.
We have Flipping Death, PS4 and Switch. I have no clue what that one is. We have Mutant Football League Dynasty Edition on PS4, Xbox One and Switch. And the last one we have here is Super Mario Party on the Switch. So, yeah, quite a few little bits and pieces. But I'm quite interested about the Astrobot Rescue Mission.
Right, okay.
Because that is enhanced what the PlayStation, the VR room, if you've looked at that, and that's where you got the bot rescue, you got the bot running around on those little platform games. Yeah. So it's going to be looks like a more of an enhanced game of what you get for free in the PlayStation room.
Right.
So, yeah, I'll look out for that one. Probably be a little bit, I don't know how expensive it's going to be.
Thinking about your PlayStation VR, I don't know whether or not you saw, but Argos, I think until Tuesday, have like a case for your VR headset.
Oh, okay.
For $8.99, less than half price.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah. If you see the link for that, let me know.
Yeah. Well, I've got one actually.
Have you?
Yeah, I got my wife to pick it up when she was in town. So
yeah. Oh, it's just a nice little jazzy case for it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's all it is. Just literally just put your headset in.
Yeah, because mine just sits on the side here. You know, just.
Yeah. Well, that's what mine was doing as well.
Yeah. But yeah, it's a lot nicer. Hey, Forza Horizon 4, which we're looking forward to. Assassin's Creed, which I will probably just give it a miss for the moment. I'm sure I'll get to play it at one stage. I think I need to do the other one first for my own insanity's sake, I think.
Yeah.
So yeah, did you finish the last one? Probably.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, okay.
No, I didn't. To be honest, I've been kind of a little bit, getting behind on some games, particularly the bigger games. But this week, I've deliberately made an effort to complete one, and I'll talk about that shortly.
Yes, I can guess which one that is myself, but
yeah. So anyway, the charts this week. So we've got number 5, stayed at number 5, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Number 4, down from 3. Number 4 down from 3 is NBA 2K19. Number 3, up from 4, Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy. Number 2, keeping in the same position, is Shadow of the Tomb Raider. And at number 1 is Marvel's Spider-Man.
Are we a week behind still? Because
we're always a week behind.
As I say, because FIFA 19 should be number 1 next week.
Yeah, and then Call of Duty will be number 1, and then it'll just alternate between them, and everybody else won't get a look in for the next few weeks.
No. But yeah, no, it's not much there to talk about. But yeah, Shadow of the Tomb Raider, everyone's enjoying that.
I've been enjoying it as well.
Yeah.
Looks beautiful, absolutely stunning game.
Spider-Man as well, obviously. Yeah, which I will get to play at some point, I know. But I've got,
I have to admit, I don't know whether or not it's the preview version that I'm in, but I've had problems streaming from my Xbox.
Really?
Yeah, to Twitch, because I'm on the Twitch beta. And it just wouldn't twitch. It wouldn't,
wouldn't twitch, yeah, go on.
Wouldn't twitch, yeah, exactly. It wouldn't broadcast. It started and then it stopped again. And what I ended up doing was broadcasting or streaming to my PC, to the Xbox app, and then from there, using NVIDIA to stream to Twitch.
Yeah.
Which is ridiculous. It is utterly ridiculous way of doing things.
Yeah.
But, I do hope that, I wish that they would do, proper YouTube support for streaming. Because while I like Twitch, I would still prefer to actually be able to do YouTube rather than Twitch. But that's just me.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Fair enough.
So, games with gold this week. Do you want to do those and I'll do PlayStation?
Okay, so Xbox One, available all of October. We've got Overcooked. Then we have Victor Varan. That's available from the 16th of October to the 15th of November.
Quite looking forward to that one, actually.
It's had a lot of praise, hasn't it, that title?
It's like a Diablo sort of game. But obviously not.
Yeah. 360, we got Stuntman Ignition. 360 back-to-back title, available from October the 1st to the 15th. And then from the 16th to the 31st, we've got Hitman Blood Money as well, which was quite a good title. Actually, they're 2 good back-to-back titles, to be honest, there.
They are, actually, but particularly Hitman, I think. That was quite a big one in the day.
But to be honest, is actually PlayStation nips it for me this month.
Well, I mean, one of PlayStation games was actually one of Xbox's games the other month.
Yeah.
With Laser League.
Okay, no, that's not the one I'm on about, though. That's not what I'm looking forward to.
No, I know the one that you're on about. It's not hard to guess, is it?
Yeah.
So on PlayStation 4 and PlayStation Plus, PlayStation 4 this month, we have Friday the 13th, the game, which is basically Evolve, but with Friday the 13th slapped onto it.
Now, I hope it's going to get a little bit of... I hope there's a lot of people going to start to play this, because it's worth a shot of either being Jason Voorhees or the teenagers that get sliced to death. It should be quite interesting to play that.
Yeah, definitely.
I think when it came out, it had a few stumbling blocks, but I think it got sorted, and there's quite a few people streaming this game. So it'd be nice to try that out.
It will. And the other game for PS4 is Laser League, which, to be honest, I've not even played on the Xbox yet. Have you played that one?
No, I've downloaded it, but that's as far as I've got at the moment.
Yeah, that's about as far as I've got, because I just didn't fancy the look of it, to be honest. PlayStation 3, we've got Master Reboot and The Bridge, crossplay with PS4 and Vita. And also on Vita, cross-buy with PS4, we have Rocket Birds 2 Evolution and 2064 Read-Only Memories.
Yeah, there's plenty to play.
Yeah. So a few good ones there. There's also Here They Lie for the PSVR.
Mm-hmm.
And fans of H1Z1, there will also be the PlayStation Plus Blue Shift pack.
Okay.
So I presume that's like, character skins or something like that.
You Hear They Lie. I think, have I already downloaded that? I'm not sure. I was able to.
No, I think it's new for this month, isn't it? There was another one last month.
Yeah, I did download last month. So, funny that. There we go.
I still can't believe that you didn't download Rush of Blood.
Oh, well, it doesn't matter. It's fine.
Have you looked on your PlayStation Plus thing?
The library section.
Yeah.
There's 90 titles there, but there's hardly any VR titles there.
Oh, that's a shame.
I know, but it doesn't matter. I've got the game on anyway. I'm fine. I'm happy.
Okay. Well, in that case then, Steve, tell us what you've been playing.
Okay, so a little bit of Destiny. They had another update for this week with the reset. The Dreaming City's got a dungeon added with an exotic bow for a quest, which looks pretty cool from what I've seen of it. So, I mean,
I've already got an exotic bow, though.
Yeah, this is a special one. This isn't the one you got. This is one that was.
So this is a more exotic bow than my exotic bow. Oh yes, it is.
This one was actually teased in some of the videos when we first saw some of the footage, and that's it. The bow that's just going to become available. So you have a bow, but not the bow. It's like I've got 3 bows that are all legendaries, but I haven't even got an exotic that's dropped that's been new, to be honest.
Oh no, I've got a few of the new exotics.
I'm the complete opposite, but do you know what? I've actually one of the ones that you've been going for originally before we had the update.
Yeah,
I've got that now sitting at about 530.
Yeah,
and it pastes everything brilliantly, and because every 4th shot it does a headshot explodes as well, so it takes a bit more damage. Blinding weapon it is, but yeah, just Destiny, I just love it. I've just come off it though. I haven't played it for 2 days. Crazy, isn't it?
That is crazy for you.
I know, because I've been playing it every day. I've been doing my all my bounties. I've been doing just leveling up my character, which is now I think 530 by now. 53. Actually, it's 532, I think. And the limit is 600.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm moving forward with that because I want to get closer to even maybe trying the Nightfall, because that's at 540. So still a way to go for that.
Well, at 530 you should be able to do it now.
It's 540 is recommended.
Yeah, but you can within
maybe
20 or 30.
But I need people to join that, because that is not like
what you need is what you're saying.
I know what you're saying.
What you're saying is get playing and get the heavy lifting hunter back in the squad. Actually, that's what you're saying.
I'm actually not just doing that, but actually getting that character of yours a bit higher. He's a bit low at the minute. So
there you go, ladies and gentlemen. He needs my help.
I'm sort of Billy No makes in Destiny at the minute, but there you go. So Forza Horizon 4, I did throw that on the other night just to give that a look because the game's coming out. And
yeah, did you get anything for playing a demo?
I got a T-shirt for my character. At one point.
Okay, so yeah, that's what I didn't know whether or not it unlocked certain cars for playing a demo and that, because it's quite often do that sort of stuff.
It may well do, I don't know, but to be honest, if I've always bought Horizon on the weekend it's come out.
Mm-hmm.
I've done it. I've bought every one. I've had the Ultimate Edition. I've got the VIP pass, and I really want to have this game. I want that Bond, the Bond cars as well. And I'm just gonna hold back a minute because we'll see at the moment. I mean, it isn't cheap by half, is it? This game.
It's ridiculously expensive.
Yeah, absolutely.
Especially, with what is effectively just DLC that it's not even story-based DLC. It is just literally cars.
Well, Forza isn't... I mean, there's 2 expansions in there as well, which will be coming out later in the year. And obviously later this year and probably into next year. But it's just the way that's worked. And it looks gorgeous, as it always does. It looks better. I mean, driving down a country lane in what you know is Britain, there's something special about that.
Yeah, I know what you mean. You're
seeing the signs for the speed limit signs and that. It just, I don't know, it did give me a smile. And looking at the different seasons that comes in there with winter and autumn and all that, it looks incredible. It really does. And yeah, I do need to play this game at some point. But I just sort of give the demo a go. It just gives me an idea. I mean, it's a driving game. We've played every driving game there is, and they're no different really. You've got the chases that you've got with maybe a Hawker Harrier in this case. I mean, they do like stunts in this one. That's one of the side quest stories you got on this game, where you're hired as a stuntman for cars. Yeah. So I don't know if the Bond bit would actually be used in that. I don't think so, but I would use some of the vehicles for some of those. I must admit, they look pretty cool. But yeah, no, it is what it is, and it looks great, plays great, handles great. I can't, say any more about that. So, bye Destiny. Hello, Star Trek Bridge Crew VR.
Hey, because I haven't played this, even though I've had it for months.
I know, and how wrong are you for doing that? So
I know.
So this game originally came out in 2017. I think.
But I'm so glad that you waited for me and said, "Let's jump on it together. I'm going to go on it tonight, Hayden. Get on it. We'll play it together."
You've been so quiet on any sort of console. You've been. Was it? You've just flicked off the internet and said, "I'm not here." Could you do that?
I do. Yeah, to be honest, I do that sometimes.
So we never know. Anyway, and also we was.
But you could have always the Facebook.
We had a Facebook group chat with about 50 messages on about this, and you didn't see it. So come on.
No, I didn't see it, and I still don't know where that was.
Anyway,
you didn't copy me into it.
Anyway, so there was a big gif of Kurt going "Con" on the front of it, so you wouldn't have missed it.
Oh, that one, yeah. But I was on about Messenger.
Oh, okay, okay. Anyway, so the original game came out May 2017.
Yeah.
This has crossplay. I didn't realise this.
Yeah, crossplay with PC.
Yeah, PC and PS4. And since then, it had a few updates. So now you can play the campaign single player with AI. Also, you can play this game without a VR headset. So
well, it's coming on Xbox, isn't it?
Is it? Oh, okay.
Sure, I saw it coming on Xbox because I thought, that's different.
So anyone that hasn't got a VR headset can pick this up. It's about £20 at the moment, isn't it, on the PSN store?
No, $15.99.
Oh, is it? Okay, even cheaper. I do apologise.
Yeah.
So you can, if you want to see what this is all about, you can pick it up and just play it with a standard controller. Mm-hmm. Voice commands were added as well.
Yeah. And
then, last but not least, the DLC for the next generation. And
I've bought that today.
You have. Now, do you know what?
Yeah.
I've Ubisoft. Come on, Star Trek Discovery. That's got to be an next bit of DLC. I want to be.
No, Voyager.
No. I want to be in there going Black Alert. That'd be awesome. I mean, they could do every TV show's DLC for that. It depends.
They could. Well, that would be the perfect thing because then you could fly the Defiant as well, couldn't you? And you could be doing Avery Brooks' overacting.
You could, couldn't you?
I'd be Julian Bashir though. I would have to admit.
Oh God, yeah. So with this game, you have up to 4 players take on the roles on board a starship. You've got your captain, your helmsman, your tactical, and your engineer. And as Hayden hadn't really seen much about this, but I'm just going to put it out there now that this is one of the best gaming experiences I've ever had in a game. It's incredible. And honestly, I am flipping blown away by this game. And with VR as well. If you need a game that's gonna sell VR to you, this is it for me. 100%. And I know it's 2017, but this could be my game for 2018, to be honest. I I just can't put in words the emotion and feelings I've got while playing this game. It's probably hard for a lot of people to understand that. But as a kid of watching Star Trek all over the years, and even with Next Generation and seeing the holodeck, didn't expect I'd be doing it to be able to play this game and actually sit in the captain's chair, for example, you know. And you look around that room and you can see you're sitting on the bridge, and it's just it's amazing. Honestly, it's just incredible. Anyhow, so I played out the first campaign level with AI and loved that. That was pretty cool. Mm-hmm. What really topped it off for me, even just the beginning, right? So when you fire this up, you load the game up. Now, I didn't realise this is an online game, same as Destiny.
Yeah.
So you have to have an internet connection for it.
But there's a single player campaign, isn't there?
Yeah, but
you still have to be connected.
You do, yeah. That's the way I worked it when I kept getting these errors saying you can't connect. I'm thinking, it's a game, come on, why not? So it must be the same sort of idea as Destiny, for example. Anyhow, so you see the intro to the game, you're in space, you see it's like the intro to Next Generation with the planets flying past you. Yeah. Now, this chair I use for podcasting is a swivel chair. Mm-hmm. It's ideal for a captain's chair because I can just spin to the left and to the right, and I'm looking around.
So you were the captain, were you?
Oh, well, I'll say more of that in a minute. You can see the intro with all the planets and Jupiter coming past you. And the next thing is you're in a shuttle, and in front of you, you've got all the panels there, which is how you set up the game and what you're going to do. Just sat in there for 10 minutes, and I watched it just fly around this space dock. And I could see the Enterprise D on my left, huge as ever. Then there was the original Enterprise further around the corner as well. And, mate, how you haven't got on this game yet, I do not know.
So basically you were in Trekkie Nirvana.
I was geeking out as much as I could, to be honest. I really was. Anyhow,
did you have your Star Trek top on?
I was in a dressing gown, I think, at that time, and I've actually got my dressing gown is a blue insignia.
How did I guess?
So it was end of the evening, but
so you should have been science then, not
yeah.
captain.
But I do have a Captain Kirk T-shirt, gold one.
So do I.
So not that type. I've got a different type. I've got an actual T-shirt as well.
Oh, right.
So not the ones that we wore when we went to Star Trek. This is
because you went as Spock.
That's right, and that's a bit big on me now. By the way, that one needs taking in a bit. But no. But anyway, yeah. Go back to this. You start off there. You set the game up. You can enable or disable the DLC. There's a training mission section where you're in a holodeck, which is worth doing. You've got multiplayer and single player campaign, plus some other bits and bobs there as well. So I was using the controller at first, using the joysticks left and right as left and right hands, and that works pretty well. And playing through that first the first story mission is a load of missions put together, basically. And I was at one point, I got a distress call come up on the screen, and it said, it's the Kobe Masharu, we've hit a specific mine and we're in trouble in the neutral zone. I just geeked out like you would not believe for this. And headed over there, and I was going to be my attempt at beating Captain Kirk's attempt at cheating in his academy days for that. That was just brilliant. I can't stress enough of that. It was just freaking awesome.
So did you actually beat the Kobayashi Maru?
I killed the 3 Klingon warbirds, and I transported up 2 sets of passengers.
Right.
For that. And then it came on the screen that you've just done this has been a trial test for you, little thing. I said, yeah, I know that. I was there and back, mate. But it was brilliant, honestly. Really good. So after trying that out, I was chatting to Pit Dog on our Facebook page. So we jumped on to a multiplayer game. Mm-hmm. And this time I used the Move controllers. Now, what a difference they make.
Yes.
Oh, was I doing YMCA sitting in my seat? Really well designed. The way your hands work with those controllers is pretty amazing. So at some point I was forgetting I had the controllers in my hands, the hands I was looking at. Do you know what I mean?
I do.
So, I'm using my left hand to do that. I was using that for the touchscreen because what I did was I was the helmsman on this online game. So I was flying the starship.
Mm-hmm.
And this was within the Kelvin timeline, so it's very similar to the Enterprise.
Right, because you can also play the classic timeline,
which I'll talk about in a
you?
minute, yeah. And we had just such a great fun doing that. And there was a guy from Australia on his PC without VR, and there was another guy on an Oculus Rift as well, and then us two on the PlayStation.
Right.
So how odd is that to believe you could do that? All this cross-play chat we have. And it works.
So it just goes to prove that there's not really an issue, doesn't it?
No, not at all. And we decided, I said, I'll be helmsman. Because I've been playing with the helmsman as much as other bits and pieces. I thought I'll do that because I want to learn one station. It's quite handy to do that, I thought. And I got quite a few trophies. I'm nearly 48% on trophies at the moment.
Wow.
So that's pretty good. So we had good fun doing that. And I said, guys, look, just before we go to bed, let's do the original Enterprise. 1 hour later. Because it was so hard. It said it was for experienced players.
Yeah.
Because what you have to do, as you know, in the original Star Trek, you've got these little jelly buttons, gold colour buttons on the consoles.
Yeah.
And they don't say anything on them, do they? So you flick one button on your controller, and it will bring up a little flag. So they are. So which is great. So now I could do what I was doing. But what it was quite amazing, and it was it was something. They got the sounds correct, the special effects. I mean, at one point I jumped back because flames were coming out of the console because we were getting pummeled. Come the end of this mission, which we actually failed, by the way, but there was flames coming out. There's pieces of the ceiling were hanging down.
So let's get this right. You beat the Kobayashi Maru, but then you probably would delivering a diplomat or whatever.
No, there was a few things. It was very difficult to operate the Enterprise, the original one. Okay. And what we were doing was I was bringing up, obviously on the view screen, I was bringing up you can bring up your tactical and everything else. And everything I was doing, you could bring up on the screen where we're going to jump between star systems and everything else like that. And we were just trying to get our feet in the door to how to operate it. But it was fun trying and getting used to it. And I said to the captain, I said, actually, can you magnify the screen? Because I'm thinking you can do that in this series. Yeah, and he did. We were 28 kilometres from this object in space. And then he just flicked the magnifier and it was right in your face. It was just, it all just worked so well.
And does it have the original series music that
No, unfortunately, do you know what? I would have to play it through my phone so everyone could hear it, but there's no original music from the show in it. And I think that's down the licensing again, unfortunately.
Do you know what? That is a schoolboy error on behalf of the developers because they should have bought that license.
I mean, what I would do next time I do it, I've got some of the soundtrack, the original TV show soundtracks on Amazon on my phone. So I could play that in the background. That would probably give you that sense. You could probably just give it a nice, not too loud, of course, but it was just fantastic. And then I was there changing the speed, and up on one of the screens to my left there, you could see see what I was doing and how the speed was going. And I was just right in the role as helmsman there. It's brilliant.
So when the ship got hit, did you forcibly move yourself left to right vigorously as if it got hit?
Oh, no. Honestly, mate, you just got to... This is an amazing game. And I know it's... Well, actually, I'm going to say, if you're not a Star Trek fan, you'll hate it. Because one of the guys, the Australian guy, he said, I'm not really a Star Trek fan, but I love playing this game. He says it's fantastic. And that just proves to you that you don't have to be a complete nut on one fandom to enjoy this game.
But it certainly helps.
But some of us were just geeking out and being a bit too anal, obviously. But it was we were taking the roles very seriously, and even with a few jokes and that. But obviously from the captain's chair, you have the outline of the mission and what you need to do through the mission. So he would then give you the cue for what you need to do. So I would, for example, as helmsman, before I can't go to warp until engineers have got the warp engines ready, and then I could then pull that lever and push it forward and go into warp. And obviously, I have to line up the ship for the correct movement as well.
Well, I mean, if you get your intermix wrong, then you could end up in time.
Well, I just say there was a sun just past us. So what you can do is you can flick a button on your move controller, and you can be outside the ship.
Yeah.
And you're just above the Enterprise. Oh God, when you're going into warp, that looks amazing. And then while I didn't need to do much for it, and we were fighting these Klingons, I went outside the ship just to see how it looked from outside. It's just honestly incredible.
Yeah. So it was nice to know for the captain that the helmsman's mind was on flying the ship.
Oh, honestly, I can't praise this game enough. I can't believe I'm praising a VR game, full stop.
So was the guy who was playing engineering goes, you can't change a lot of physics.
We were joking around all sorts. I was crying so much sometimes. I'm surprised my eyes weren't bleeding out of the actual headset. Yeah, I can go on for hours, but that's enough geeking out for one evening.
So there you are, ladies and gentlemen. This is what Steve sounds like when he's having a nerdgasm.
The missus, she said to me, she's going to go, it's okay. So I just plugged everything in, move controllers came on, and it all looks very colourful, doesn't it, all the controllers? And it was quite dark. I said, look at this. So she looked at me and just tutted and went, you geek. Then went to bed.
Dear me.
Anyway, what have you been up
to? Well, for me, I've platinumed a game. Yay. I've finished Spider-Man completely, utterly and totally.
And that is it? No more until the DLC?
Yeah, there is literally nothing more for me to do in the game other than just go around and do all of the local crimes, even though I've already done all of the ones in all of the areas because they still pop up. But, I've completed the story. Really, really enjoyed this story. I like the take on Peter Parker. Yeah. The story with his relationship with Dr. Octavius, who, obviously becomes Dr. Octopus in the game. He, really good. You felt their connection. And then when he becomes the adversary in it, you feel the sort of tear in Peter.
Did it play out very similar to the movie at the time that was out for that storyline?
No, it doesn't. You mean the Tobey Maguire movie? No, it doesn't play out like Spider-Man 3. It's still Dr. Octavius, but it's a different sort of take entirely. So there is like Electro, Vulture, Rhino, and Scorpion in there as well. Was it Scorpion? It's not Scorpion, is it? It's I've forgotten what is it? The lizard one. Or is it Scorpion?
You're about the guy that was on his hoverboard.
No. That's a Green Goblin. Yeah, no, I'm not on about him at all. No, because basically what happens is there are certain Spider-Man, villains that are in the game, and they escape from prison in the game as well. And part of the story is you've got to go and hunt them down, but there's all of this other stuff going on as well in the game. So there's this new gang that's basically taking the place by the throat, and then in order to go against the gang, this private sort of army comes into New York City and stuff like that as well. So there's absolutely loads of different villains in there. So you've got Kingpin, you've got the Shocker, you've got Black Cat, Silver Sable, who's in charge of like this for hire gang, who was basically being brought in by the mayor, who's Norman Osborn. You've got Electro, you've got Mr. Negative, who actually starts out as one of the good guys. You've got Tombstone in there. You've got Screwball, Taskmaster, Vulture, Rhino, and Scorpion. Yeah, and also Dr. Octopus. So there's loads and loads of, well-known and not so well-known Spider-Man villains in the game. And you fight all of them at some point or another. Or, in the case of some of the villains, 2 of them at once, which makes it for an interesting kind of thing. A lot of the fighting sometimes, or in terms of the big villains, kind of like feels a little bit scripted in terms of not quite so spontaneous, I found. Like the end fight, while I enjoyed the fight with Dr. Octavius, there was only really one way to beat him, doing a specific thing, which was a bit of a shame. I would have liked different avenues to do it, but I haven't found one, really that would actually work. But it is a really emotive story. It explores his relationship with, Doc Ock. It also explores his relationship with Aunt May, and that has, an emotional twist in it and of itself by the time you finish the game. The game, when you're playing it, initially start out really quite weak with very few powers, and as you play the game, the game basically works on levels, and I think there's about 50 of them, although levels, you still hit level milestones after 50, but they're just not recognised after that. But every time you unlock a level, then you get access to new stuff, either new equipment, new suits, or, skill points to unlock new abilities. But you will, before you get to level 50, you will definitely reach the maximum for all of your skills.
So at the point of end game that you've got to now, you've unlocked everything completely is done and dusted there.
No, you haven't unlocked absolutely everything, but you've unlocked most of the stuff in the game. There's a suit, or rather, probably an absence of suit would be a more apt way of putting it, suit that's there that you don't unlock until you've completed everything in the game, basically. Till you've, cleared all districts, cleared the campaign, which is basically Peter Parker with a Spider-Man mask on in his underwear.
Yeah, I saw that. I've seen a few other people posting their image of that at the end of the game, so...
Yeah. But there is loads and loads of different Spider-Man suits in the game. I think that there's something like 25 of them, something like that, even more than that, where they all have different kind of abilities that link with it. So, for example, a Spider-Man Noir, which allows you to sneak about really quietly, and take down enemies next to another one. As long as they're not looking at them, you'll be able to do it quietly and not take them down. You do that in another suit, then they'll hear you doing a scuffle and be alerted. There is ones that boost up your focus, and your focus allows you to do basically finishes on people or regenerate your health and stuff like that. There are the last suit that you get in the game before the absence of a suit, as it were, is one that regenerates all of your consumables in your suit, and it's a completely black suit, but like an Iron Man black sort of suit, the Iron Man sort of, or the Iron Spider style suit, but in black and yellow, which looks really nice, actually. There's like a punk rock Spider-Man. There's the classic old, comic Spider-Man suit, which gives you the super power of being able to do quips at enemies, which, to get them off guard and stuff like that. So there's Spider-Man 2099 suits and loads of other ones as well. I could go on for ages talking about all these different suits and what they do. And once you've unlocked a suit, you can take that power and add it as a bonus power on your other suits, up to 3 of them, so you can mix and match. So let's say, for example, you like the shielding on one of them, the diamond shielding on one of them, and then the ability to do the sneaking about on the Noir Spider-Man, but you also liked the increased boost in focus power. You can add all of those onto the suit as well. So it gives you that ability to sort of customize your suit to meet your requirements in terms of the way that you do the gameplay, which I quite liked. To be honest, most of the time when I changed a suit wasn't to change it for what the function was, but basically just to get a bit of a different look.
Okay.
But there is the Iron Spider suit from Avengers. There is also the Stark Spider-Man suit as well. So there's lots and lots of different varieties in there, and it's, that I really quite like. There's loads of gadgets for Spider-Man as well, so there's like a Spider-Man grenade where he chucks it and then it explodes a web, and if the bad guys are near a wall, it'll plaster them to a wall. I had this lovely one where there was a car and a truck, and these 4 bad guys were in the middle of it, and I chucked in a grenade, it exploded, and I just took all 4 of them out in one go, because 2 of them got plastered to the car, 2 of them got plastered to the van, which was really quite cool. But then there's like an extra hard shot that'll hit someone and then propel them, and if it lands on a wall, plaster them to the wall. There's electrified webbing. There's like a tripwire one, and one of the things that's quite good fun is using the tripwire one and hitting somebody in the chest with it, and then if they're looking at another guy, it'll zip wire them both together to take them out, which is quite good fun. There's your normal shooter and other ones in there as well. There's 2 that I didn't unlock, and that's because I chose to boost the power of the ones that I had rather than buy this, because one of the things that I found is you don't actually, in the game itself, collect enough challenge tokens as the game stands right now. So I think that there's going to be more challenges in the future game, in the DLC, that will allow you to unlock more equipment. But there was 2 pieces of gadgetry that I didn't unlock.
Yeah.
But I didn't particularly need them. Like, one's a Sonic thing, and I can't remember what the other one is. But once you've got this equipment, you can upgrade it. So, for example, you can hold more Spider-Man bombs and all of that sort of stuff. Or spider grenades. But really loved it. But the one thing I still say is I found the fighting still clunky. Even after I'd unlocked loads and loads of different moves and combos, it just didn't have the smoothness that Batman did. So, the Batman Arkham Asylum sort of games.
Yeah, I'm with you.
That fighting felt a lot slicker, a lot smoother, a lot more better to choreograph, because sometimes when you were playing this game, you might press a dodge and it'll work fine, but then other times you might get 3 people shooting at you all at once, and you might dodge one shot, but you won't dodge the others. And that was a bit frustrating sometimes, especially when you were trying to get a 65 hit combo and it does that on 59 hits. Do you know what I mean? It's sort of like, argh. So, but you can, web people, jump up in the air and then, shoot a web at them and then throw them with, while you're up in the air, and do all sorts, do acrobatics as you're jumping off stuff or you're swinging along. It really gives you that sort of like feeling of being Spider-Man in terms of that. But I just think that the combat was a little bit, needed a bit more development personally. But other than that, really loved it. Although I did find that if you want to go for the platinum, doing all of the crimes in all of the districts of New York ended up being a bit of a slog and a bit of a labour of love.
Grinding, eh?
Yeah, I was really glad to get to the end of it when that platinum popped. So it needed more variety, because each area, there was like 4 or 5 different sort of like mini missions to do that were spontaneously popping up as well. So you had to wait for them to pop up. You couldn't just go to a place and get them. And it was just a little bit annoying that each, all 5 of the gang lord ones were all the same in each of the areas, and it was just you fight all of these people, and then it'd be like, oh, these guys have got bombs, so you had to go to 3 different places and switch off the bombs. It needed a bit more variety in there, I felt. But other than that, really good, really enjoyable, loved the game, really pleased I've completed it, really happy I've got the platinum on it, so I was really quite pleased with it as a game.
Nice one.
Yeah.
Anything else?
So Yeah, a couple of other games, actually. I said last week I tried a game out at EGX, which was called Planet Alpha. And I came home and I bought Planet Alpha because I really liked it. So the game is a 2.5D platform game in the style of Inside and Limbo. And the thing I love about this game is the graphical style, because the game, it's just really got that comic sci-fi from the 1950s sort of look. Really bright colours, you know, blue plants and all of that sort of stuff. That really like nerdy sort of 50s sort of sci-fi view, you know, spaceships that look like they've come out of the old Buster Keaton, Flash Gordon sort of films and that sort of thing. Movement in terms of the game is a little bit limited. Basically, you can go left, right, you can jump, interact, and duck. Those are your movements in the game. They're basically exactly the same as Inside. What's really different about this game, though, is your ability in certain parts of the game, or in the most of the latter part of the game, to influence the axis of the planet that you're on. So you can move the planet from night to day as, you know, as your power, as it were. So this can be useful for completing puzzles. So, for example, there's a certain point that you get to where no matter how many times you try and do this jump, you don't have the speed to be able to jump the distance. But if you go to a night time, these plants pop up and start letting off these seeds. And if you run through them at that point, it gives you a speed boost, which allows you to make a jump. Or other times where, for example, it might be night, and the story is that the planet that you're on, these Robbie the Robot style robots are coming and destroying the planet that you're on. They're invading it. Okay? And they will kill you if they see you.
Yeah.
Okay? And basically, when you were playing, you have to distract them or hide from them. So hiding from them normally means ducking either behind a rock or in foliage. So on a night, some plants shrink into the ground and then come back during the day. So if you've got to get past one of these Robbie the Robot sort of clones, you've got to change the axis of the planet to be day, so that the plants pop up, and then you can duck along behind or through the plants past the robots.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, so it is really interesting. And I know that, you know, this is an indie game, but there are some really good indie games, and this is one of those gems that you find, being honest. And that's, you know, it's that sort of different sort of style that I really like. You know, it's got a real kind of Lost in Space sort of story, you know, a sort of feel to it, and design to it as well, from the original one. I don't mean from the new ones.
Danger.
Yeah, danger, Will Robinson. But there is no dialogue in the game. Everything that the game teaches you about the story that is going on is as a result of just the interactions within. Like yeah, exactly. There's no text or anything like that. There are puzzles about like matching symbols and all of this sort of thing to get through certain doors, or maybe the ability to, you know, like for example, one bit where you're in a like factory area and you have to switch off two consoles which are at opposite ends of the room, and in order to do that, in order to get into the room, you've got to go up into the roof, go across, go down one side, switch the computer off, climb back up, go across the roof, climb back down, and switch the other side off.
Yeah, it sounds very Limbo-ish, doesn't it? I think some of this.
Yeah, it is. But the other thing as well is, this planet, there are massive alien creatures that are on the planet as well. Like really huge dinosaurs. And you can influence them to do things at certain points. So, for example, there's a bit where you can move like a laser turret underneath it to shoot it, which will then make it move, revealing a hidden entrance or exit or allow you to progress. There's also like sub-dimensions where you go to this sort of like whirly sort of area and click on the interact button, and it takes you to this other world where you've got better powers of jumping and things like that. And there's moving platforms, and it's very much about trying to get to the end and get to the artifact and free that and go back to the planet, and then it warps you back to a slightly different place. So there's, and a lot of the achievements are tied to that as well, I would say as well. So there's lots of variety in terms of the different sort of stuff that's in the game. But really, a lot of the selling point in this is just, it's really incredibly enjoyable game. You will die a lot.
One of those, is it?
Oh yeah, it's one of those. As if you don't like to die at all in a game, don't play this, because you will not get through it. Certainly first time without, experimenting on different places you can jump. Especially, if you're trying to find different, different ways or, hidden things as well, which I've been trying to do. But I'd hate to think how many. I probably died about 100 times, to be honest. I've not even completed the game yet. But I'm not bothered about that, because I've just been exploring the area and seeing what is and isn't possible in the game. But really enjoyed this. And this is it's out now on the PC, Xbox One and PS4. And I think there's a Switch version either out or on the way. So it's on all platforms as well.
Might have a look at that at some point.
Yeah, it's $15.99 at the moment, but it was last week on PlayStation, $11.99.
Well, it can probably come down in price at some point. It'd be not handy.
I'm sure it will. I'm absolutely sure it will. But to me, this is just as good a game as Inside, I feel.
Oh, wicked.
And I really enjoyed that one as well, but it's not for everyone. So the last game I've started to play, and I've only played this for about an hour and a half, so it's sort of like a bit of hot reflections, is Mafia 3. Finally got round to playing this.
How long ago was this game out? Blimey, it seems forever.
A while ago, but I have to say I'm really liking their approach in terms of it. As a whole game, I think what 2K have done is really quite nice, and I think quite respectful to this as a game, as to people and as a period of history. So when you start off the game, it kind of unfolds a bit more like a documentary, because it starts with people talking and then going into flashbacks. And then it shows you, delivers stuff to you in a 4:3 sort of TV kind of view, but with like scan lines and noise and that sort of stuff on the pictures if you're looking at an old style TV, but it's all, proper rendered gameplay that's going on. Well, not gameplay, but animated scenes that are going on, even though you can't control anything that's showing. But all of the sort of like key characters are saying, well, this happened and this happened. So like there's an old priest who's saying, well, when I was a lad and I knew him and blah blah blah, and that's how the story kind of unfolds. So you start off as a black character who, and obviously this is all about the Mafia versus, blacks in America. The story, you start out, you've just finished Vietnam, you've fallen in with a bad crowd, and basically you're raiding a bank vault, disguised as a security guard. It's not a bank vault. It is a vault, but it's not necessarily a bank vault. I think it's one where like they burn old money and whatever. So like, a mint press or something. And everything is authentic to the time. So, like the language and the political views and all of that. What they haven't tried to do is do the social justice warrior amendment to history. And it says this right at the beginning of the game. They actually say, we've tried to be as authentic as we possibly can. What we have done is taken what's happened, what happened in that time period, and kept it rather than change it, because their view was, while their view was that some of the characters and the way that people were talked to and, called was abhorrent to them. It is how things were in that period of time. And to my mind, I prefer something that's authentic than something that's ended up with the social justice warriors going mad. So I quite like the stance that they've taken on this as a game, because it really does allow you to see how we've progressed. Because sometimes you're listening to it and you're thinking, my God, is this really how people work? Yeah. You know, and how black people were treated as second-class citizens. It is, yeah. It's a strong game. There's a lot of swearing.
This is basically like a GTA sort of style game, isn't it?
It is, yeah. It's basically GTA, but it's Mafia. You know, the third in the Mafia series. So they're very similar sort of style of games. But yeah, I've been quite impressed with it at the moment, and it does make you think about, you know, how people were discriminated against just because of the colour of the skin, which is completely wrong. But you know that it's fact. It happened in the 60s.
Well, in some places like South Africa, there was like benches that only black people could sit on and white people could sit on. Yeah.
And buses.
Just can't imagine that. Sorry, you're not allowed in this one. You're white or black, you know.
Well, I don't think the white would have ever been told you're not allowed on this one, but the blacks would have done. And that
this sort of reminds you of the game of the PlayStation, you know, the one with the androids. Gives you that sense of what was then, even in the future.
I'm trying to think which one you're thinking. Detroit. Yeah, because effectively speaking, what they've done there is update that concept and reapplied the discriminatory behaviour to the androids rather than it to be a human. So, yeah, and I know what you're saying, and yeah, it is that sort of thing. But the fact, you know, that people were treated the way that they were called the names that they were, it's disgusting.
But I was watching, what film was I watching a while ago? One of Clint Eastwood's old movies. I think it was The Beguiled, which is the one set in the time of the Civil War. And, you know, in there you'd have a house there with a maid, and she'd be black. And, you know, they treat him like dirt. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. And to be honest, even
and stuff like that, if you remember movies like that over the years, that
Roots, all of that.
So, good game though, yeah.
But I'm enjoying it so far. It's very GTA sort of style, but
game or not?
I think it was PlayStation Plus. It was, and this is a PlayStation that I'm playing it on as well, I should say. But I do have it on Xbox. Of
course you do.
As a matter of fact, I've also got it on PC as well, but I've never played it.
Terrible, isn't it?
It is, but I got it through Humble Bundle on the PC. But I actually, you know, when it came out, I bought it on Xbox, and I've just not played it. I think it's one of those ones of I bought it and then thought, actually, I don't fancy it, and I never did anything with it. It just sort of sat there. I thought I'll play it when I get in the mood, and for some reason, I've started playing on PlayStation.
Am I right in saying some of the collectibles are the Playboy magazines in this one?
I don't know. I haven't got to that stage yet. Like I said, I'm really early doors in the game. I've just done the vault bit, and I've gone on to the bullion vault that you're upgrading, or the money vault. I've just done that bit, which is the first mission, and now I'm on the one where it flashbacks to 2 weeks earlier, where you've just come back from Vietnam. So, like I said, really, really early on in the game, anyone who's played it will go, oh yeah, you've hardly touched it, you know, like 1% of the way through the game or something like that. Not even that, probably. But it's going to be one that I'm going to keep
I'm just double checking.
Dipping
it is Playboy
into
magazines. And you see the front covers of them? And I'm just looking at them now.
I haven't found them yet.
And they are original covers from the time.
So everything's really authentic then in terms of the content. Yeah. And do you know, I think that's a good thing, because it teaches, particularly nowadays, the millennium generation, it teaches them about how far things have gone. You know, in our lifetimes, or just beyond our lifetimes, you know, we've gone from separating people because of the colour of the skin to where we are now.
Yeah. It's quite a few of those magazines. So, I'm just looking at the map where it shows where they all are. Oh, it's loads.
Yeah, you're just looking at Playboy magazines now. We know, Steve.
There's a lot of them there.
Yeah, he's got on to playboy.com, don't worry, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, dear. I can't remember the last time I looked at a Playboy magazine. It's some time ago.
I have to be honest, I don't think I've ever looked at a Playboy magazine.
Anyway, moving on.
Moving on, swiftly. So that's my gaming for this week. Okay. So with that, we'll move on to movies, TV, and streaming.
In quest of a better life.
Okay, so a bit of news about Star Wars.
What surprise?
Surprising enough. And basically, I think probably recognising a lot of what you've said in the past.
That time, yeah. Honest, I think they just damn right think about it.
Yeah. So, Disney's CEO, Bob Iger, has basically made a statement recognising that his Star Wars release strategy, in the wake of the disappointing box office performance of Solo, a Star Wars story, he hasn't got it right. And Iger has told The Hollywood Reporter in an interview that Star Wars fans could expect some slowdown in the production of the series, because bearing in mind that we had The Last Jedi and then Star Wars, Solo, a Star Wars story within 5 months of each other, which is the quickest that any release dates of Star Wars have ever been. You know, before that, we had a year between The Force Awakens and Rogue One. But 5 months is obviously not hit the numbering right there as well. We'll forget about everything about everybody saying, you know, boycott Solo.
Yeah.
Because of the awful previous numbered film. So, yeah, I'm not really sure how I feel about this, to be quite honest with you. Because although he has said that, you know, the films, they'll still be going to be getting released, they're still planning on doing what they were planning on doing, but maybe just slowing it down. So by that, I'm reading it that they're going to do like an anthology movie, a numbered movie, an anthology movie, a numbered movie. And also I've heard as well that episode 9 has been moved back to Christmas from next May. So it won't be May the 4th be with you.
I'm fine with that. You know, it's, as I say, you know my feeling about Star Wars these days.
Yeah, but you're old and grumpy.
Oldish, but
sometimes
not so
you are.
So, we all can be. Yeah, even you can be old and grumpy.
I'm always really happy. Not. I think you ought to know I'm feeling very depressed.
Yes, I don't know what that feels like.
So anyway, so I to be honest, I think after everything that's gone on with Star Wars, I'm not surprised by this, little bit disappointed. But if it means that we get better films than the one before last, I'm very happy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, but in J.J. Abrams we trust.
Yeah, that's right, exactly.
So, anyway, any other news from you, Steve?
Not that I can think of at the moment, no.
Seems to be quite a quiet sort of time at the moment. You know, there's no moustaches being removed digitally or anything like that to talk about, is there? No, we know. We've mentioned Superman. He's hung up his belt, wasn't he? Yeah. Should we say? For cape. 2 swords. Yeah. Yeah. So, not a lot more happening at the moment, but yeah. Fair enough. Good. Okay, so cinema releases then. Yeah, that's interesting. I was looking at this. Before we came on, I was having a quick look at what's his name's talk show that's just started up again this week on the BBC, Graham Norton. Yeah. And the only reason I did, because Jodie Whittaker's on it this week. Obviously, Doctor Who starts next week. Is this going to be your new crush? Who, Jodie Whittaker? Yeah. I've always liked her in Broadchurch, but Doctor Who starts in a week's time. Joy. So, and also they had Lady Gaga and Bradley Cooper, obviously, which is related to The Star Is Born. Yeah. Which is a remake from the Chris Christopherson and Barbra Streisand movie.
So I don't know how I feel about that, to be honest.
Mm.
But so, yeah, October the 3rd, Star is Born. We have Venom and Operation Finale. October the 5th, we've got Johnny English Strikes Back. Whoa.
Strikes Again.
Again, and I'm just thinking, oh, God, really? Okay. Blind Spotting, Columbus and Blue Iguana. So, a few interesting films there. Johnny English, I'm not going to be too much, I'm not even thinking about it.
Yeah, to be honest, I think that would be very much a second sort of rate choice to go for, even though I do love Rowan Atkinson. But Venom, I do want to see.
Yeah, that looks pretty cool, I must admit.
Mm.
So other than that, yeah, I'm going to say A Star is Born. I'd probably be interested in seeing that at some point, even if it's later back in the day, because that was a iconic movie of its time.
Yes.
And Lady Gaga's got a good voice in her as well, actually, to be honest.
I can't stand Lady Gaga.
Say what you will, but she's got an incredible voice. She's a good singer from that point of view.
Mm-hmm.
She has a good poker face, by the way.
Fair enough.
Go on, do you want to do DVD and Blu-ray releases?
Okay, so out from tomorrow,
Mm.
we have Batman Begins, including booklet for 4K Blu-ray. The Christopher Nolan Collection, 4K Blu-ray, Ghost in the Shell, Innocence on Blu-ray and DVD. We have Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 5, Blu-ray limited edition and Blu-ray and DVD versions there. We also have The Dark Knight and The Dark Knight Rises on 4K Blu-rays, which includes a booklet. Whoopee-doo. And also, a pre-order for me arrives tomorrow, The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, the complete series, Blu-rays collector's edition box set or special edition box set.
Yeah, which edition have you got?
I went for the special edition box set, to be honest.
Is that the VHS looking one?
No. Because when I looked at it, other than coming in a box that looks like a VHS, that was the only difference, but it was like twice as much, or an extra tenner, and I thought, I'm not bothered about that.
Was it really?
Yeah, that's the only difference between them. So I decided...
So Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy Anniversary Collector's Edition is $25.99.
Yeah.
And that is the one with the VHS looking.
Oh, it was $29.99 when I looked on Amazon earlier on.
So, and I'm looking at this, it's got the VHS box with the, 3 discs in there, and that's $25.99.
Yeah, you look at the description on the special edition and the collector's edition, the description's the same apart from the cassette box.
Yeah, because this is the VHS retro packaging.
Yeah, I'm not bothered about that, to be honest, like I said. But anyway, that should be arriving tomorrow.
Yeah.
For me.
Oh, that'd be interesting.
Yeah, so getting to be that time of year when all the good stuff's coming out again.
I don't understand. Are they releasing the 4K singly now? Because I've got the box set anyway for the Batman ones.
Yes, they are. Yeah, they are.
Yeah, okay.
And also, I'm a bit miffed about this, but The Matrix is getting released later in the month as well, on the trilogy.
How much for that, though?
Evidently about 30 quid.
Yeah, because what did you pay? 25?
Yeah, which is a bit of a bummer. But I'll sell my Matrix and get the trilogy.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's fair enough. Oh, yeah. Well, it says here at the moment it's $38.99.
That was it. Yeah, it was more than what I paid, but nevertheless, to be honest, it might be just as easy if it's $19.99.
It's $19.99 for the Matrix.
Yeah, that's what I paid for
and
it. And
$38.99 for the trilogy.
So if they release the other two movies at $19.99, you get a 2 for 30 quid. Yeah. I might do that instead.
How about the Planet of the Apes trilogy? 4K trilogy, not Ultra HD. £68.49. You're having a laugh.
They are. To be honest, they're just taking the mick out of 4K at the moment until it becomes more mainstream.
That's just ridiculous, isn't it? Why?
Yeah.
Why? I know it's all right. Actually, the box I got it a bit cheaper than this, but it's $42.99 for the Dark Knight trilogy. And I think you're looking at about 25 quid, 20 quid for a 4K movie, aren't you? Yeah, you are.
But when you're buying them, in a group, they should always be a lot cheaper.
Well, the Hunger Games box set's 50 quid.
Yeah.
And the Mission Impossible box set I've seen, which is not looking at here, I know that's about 60.
Yeah. Well, I won't be buying that.
That's not too bad because that is like 5 movies.
I still think it's overpriced. If it had been 40,
Yeah.
I might have sunk my teeth into
So,
it.
yes,
because
it's-
I've already got all but one of those films anyway.
Yeah. £60 and 49 pence on Prime.
Yeah. I forgot to mention there's Hellboy Director's Cut coming out on Blu-ray next week, and also Braveheart 4K Blu-ray.
Yeah, not too fussed about that one.
No, I can't say I am. Mel Gibson trying to play a Scotsman.
Yeah. But yeah, that's say.
An American with an Australian accent trying to play a Scotsman.
Yeah, how awkward's that?
Yeah, doesn't really work.
So, I mean, upcoming releases are even going a bit later. I mean, looking at Amazon, there's quite a few bits and pieces that you can put for pre-order.
I have Planet of the Escape from New York.
Yeah, which I told you about last week. So yeah,
and we're getting the same one.
Yeah, and also I've got the same version of that for They Live and The Fog as well. So I've got three different movies coming.
I'm quite tempted by They Live, I have to admit, but that's going to be for later on.
Okay, so shall I do charts?
Well, do you want to do the cinema charts and I'll do the...
Yep. So, number 5, we've got The Nun. 4, we have King of Thieves. Number 3, we have Crazy Rich Asians. Is that right? Am I reading it right? Yeah.
Yeah, Crazy Rich Asians.
2, we have A Simple Favour. And at number 1, we have The House with the Clock in the Walls, which I think is a Jack Black movie, isn't it?
It is, but to be honest, I really don't fancy it.
It's one of those sort of fantasy films, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
Anyway, what's the DVD charts looking like? Because they're probably a bit more, and we're going to have a bit more about that.
DVD, number 5 down from 4 is Ready Player One. At number 4, up from 6 is The Greatest Showman. At number 3, a new entry, Deadpool and Deadpool 2. At number 2, down from 1, is Avengers Infinity War. And at number 1 is Deadpool 2.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah. I need to rewatch Deadpool 2, to be honest, because I was sort of like half doing something else at the same time.
Yeah. Good transfer?
Yeah, look good quality.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely.
Cool.
So, and I did like the original Deadpool. That was really...
Yeah, I'm not enamoured by them both, to be honest, but... it is what they are,
You have to like the humour, don't you?
Yeah, well, I do like Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah.
Some other of his movies I can watch again and again anyway, some other ones that he's done in the past.
I just think that some of the bits at the very end of the movie, the credit scenes, are just so incredibly funny. To me, they're the highlights of the film. I know that shouldn't be the case, but the bit where it's got Ryan Reynolds and he's got the script for the Green Lantern and he says, this is going to be epic. And then Deadpool blows his head off. Or the bit where the Wolverine version of Deadpool was there and it has Hugh Jackman there, which to be honest is his last cinema viewing as the Wolverine, to be honest.
Yeah.
And they do a scene where Deadpool shoots Deadpool, and says something like, quippy like, that's not how I'm supposed to be or whatever it is. And it shows you Hugh Jackman going, huh? sort of view where like he's travelling through time and, changing the timeline and things and it ends, well, I won't say where it ends up, but it's just so funny. So funny. But to me, there's just something being about the Deadpool movies and the humour in them that's just really clicked with us.
Yeah, good.
So, yeah, I got to rewatch it. Anyway, what have you been watching movies, TV and streaming wise?
Well, we'll get on to one item in a minute that we've both been watching.
That could be our segue, can't it?
It will be, yes. So I did actually get to sit down with the missus and watch The Last Movie Star, which, if you don't know, is one of Burt Reynolds' last movies he's already obviously filmed before he died.
Is that on Sky or somewhere, or is it?
You can watch it on Prime Video if you pay for it.
Right. Oh, right, okay, so it's a rented sort of, yeah, okay.
So basically, he's playing a character called Vic Edwards, and if I say it's him playing himself, but as Vic Edwards instead of Burt Reynolds.
Yeah.
So he's an aging movie star forced into facing the reality of that his glory days are behind him, and on its surface, the film is a tale about a faded fame. At its core, it's a universal story about growing old from his point of view. And the film starts off with he's there watching these girls doing yoga across the way from a coffee shop. And he's sitting there, and you've got Chevy Chase is playing a character alongside him.
Is Chevy Chase playing Chevy Chase, or
he's just playing another character? So, but he's getting old of it himself, actually.
He is.
But basically, Vic Edwards gets this letter in the post to say he's been nominated for a lifetime achievement for his movies at the Nashville Film Festival. And in the past, Clint Eastwood, Jack Nicholson were people that had won it. So he decides, after Chevy Chase's character pushed him, well, just go, get your ass out there, you miserable old git, So he goes to Nashville, and the PA looking after him is Ariel Winter, who plays in Modern Family.
Yeah.
She does a very good role in this, and hats off to her for playing that. And well, she does, the chemistry with her and Burt Reynolds works really well together. And anyway, so this Nashville Film Festival basically is run by a bunch of geeks that love his movies.
Mm-hmm.
And it's about him and the PA, Lily, and him going back, trying to relive what he'd done in the past as a film actor.
Yeah.
And I won't say too much. If you do get a chance to watch it, if you like Burt Reynolds, I think this film works as a fitting tribute to what he'd done over the years. Because you get to see snippets of Burt Reynolds in the Willie Carson show, for example, mm-hmm. and some of the other stuff in the early days of playing in westerns, black and white, back in the day. And it's just a bit of a celebration on what he did as well, ironically. And even to the point that he's in the car being taken to his hotel room.
Yeah.
By Lily. And he just drifts off for a moment. And next thing is you see him in this vehicle, and you're thinking, hold on a minute. And he's in the passenger seat next to himself as the bandit. And he's talking to him, he's talking to the bandit, he's talking back to him. It's just so clever. It just made me smile. It's a drama at the end of the day, but I think it was a good movie. And even I thought I'd give it a show the missus because I've already seen it once anyway, and she loved it. So it's sort of one you could watch with the missus.
Mm.
And bless him, he was old now, wasn't he? Kicking it a bit, and just shows how much I miss him after seeing it, to be honest.
What was he, about 84 or something when he died, wasn't he?
Oh, he was 82.
82.
Yeah. But yeah, if you get a chance to go and pick that up and watch that, it's well worth a watch. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Yeah,
I want to watch that because I was a big fan of Burt Reynolds when I was younger.
Yeah, and I'm going to have to go back. And if you go back and if you Google Graham Norton with Burt Reynolds, he did go on there not long ago.
Yeah.
Chatting about his career.
Yeah.
Hilarious, absolutely hilarious it is. Well worth a watch. Okay, so let's move on to Netflix. And at last, The Good Place is back.
It's been a long time coming, it felt. Even though it's only been about 6 months.
Well, I think it's probably less than that, isn't it? Since
No, but didn't it finish in February?
Yeah, but I did it, and then when did I start catching it up? Because obviously you watched it before me, but it still seems a bit of an age. But it was great to see the gang back in season 3.
Oh, yeah.
A nice 40-minute episode.
Yeah, it was a double-length one.
Yeah, and a bit of a slow burner, as I was saying to you earlier. I think this will go, but it's great to see the characters back. I love Jason. Hello. He's such a pain, that guy.
He is. But no, I think that the way that they've taken what was obviously, not a fully rounded up thought at the end of the last series, and then redefined that in terms of what's going to be going forward.
Yeah.
I think that's been really good.
I think we can say, I suppose we don't really want to say too much about it, to be honest. It's only just come out.
Yeah, exactly. You want people to actually go and sit and watch that. So definitely worth watching, though. There's just so many things. And I think it also, for anybody who's not seen it before, gives quite a nice little wrap up. And Netflix have actually done like a 10-minute little mini documentary about the characters and what's going on.
Yeah, but I would suggest not watching that if you want to watch season 1 and 2, though, because it would spoil it.
Yeah, if you don't want to watch season 1 and 2, but you want to get straight into season 3, watch it. Or if you need a recap, watch it, because it can be a bit convoluted at times.
Yeah, because I had been catching on odd bits of episodes just leading up to now, to be honest.
Yeah.
And we did, without saying it, we did have an idea of how this was going to go.
Yeah.
I think we got that right anyway.
Yeah.
But it's just how this, I'm not sure yet how this story is going to progress or where we're going to go with it, because we know that they got away from the judge at the end of the last season on how what they were going to do. And, we'll see. It's, I do love Ted Danson. I've forgotten how much a good actor he is, to be honest.
Yeah. Because he's one of those actors who you sort of like say, oh yeah, it's Ted Danson, and you move on. But when you actually watch him, he is really good at what he does. I
think I need to go back and watch 3 Men and a Baby.
I need to go back and watch Cheers, all those ones.
Oh God, that's a long time ago.
It is, but they were classic. They were real classic shows. But
yeah, no, it's nice to see this back. Unfortunately, though, we have to wait weekly for this.
That's the killer. And it's a Friday as well. But at least it means that at the end of a week, you can come back and you can watch A Good Place.
Yeah. Really good. Anything else have you seen, by the way?
Yeah, I watched Solo, a Star Wars story.
Okay. How did you find it a second time round or a third time round, maybe?
Well, that's the thing. I didn't enjoy it as much. I still enjoyed it, but you know when some movies are better for watching a second time? Not so much for this one, I think. I just don't feel that it felt the same on the smaller screen. And the other thing as well, and I don't often comment on the scores, but Star Wars has a very definite sound to it. And Rogue One was the first Star Wars film that wasn't scored by
John Williams, yeah.
John Williams. And that, while it showed, didn't show. Do you understand what I mean? It didn't have quite the epicness, but it felt in the flavour.
Yeah.
Whereas this film,
John Williams does get a credit in it.
Yes, he does get because there is part of his score in there. There is part of his score in the film, but only a small part of it. It's the bit with the Millennium Falcon that where Han takes over it and escapes the Kessel Moor basically. That's where the Star Wars music mainly comes in. But it's just, I don't know. I don't feel that this was in the style of those films at all.
Yeah.
To be quite honest with you. I'm trying to remember who it was who actually did the Rogue One music score, to be quite honest with you. Do you remember at all? Because I know that you're more into the music scores than I am.
Well, while you're chatting, I can have a brief look.
Yeah, but John Powell did this.
Yeah.
And personally, while the music was all right, it just wasn't in keeping with all of the other films in the franchise. It didn't have that epicness. And I know that this has a different focus, but it just didn't do it for me. Do you know what I mean?
Believe it or not, it's Michael Giacchino.
Right, okay.
Who did the Star Trek reboot as well.
Right, okay. So, and he is a good composer.
Oh, yeah.
But I just didn't feel John Powell did as good a job on this. It made the movie not feel as Star Wars, apart from a few key bits where they brought in, John Williams' score.
Just recognise little nuggets there that you can hear, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
See, that's the thing now. I know they've asked John Williams to score the next Star Wars movie.
And that'll be his last.
But again, see, this is the thing now. Star Wars is not going to be Star Wars anymore. Maybe it's a Star. I said it's going to be a Star Wars story, have Star Wars characters, and it's going to move forward. But for the likes of some of us, it won't be the same. It never will be, unfortunately.
Well, I have to admit, I do tend to think now, if they continue to go down the line of the last numbered film, that Star Wars, for people like you and me, we're not the audience.
No.
The fans are not the audience.
It's going to be a younger audience now. That's what Disney's all about. Unfortunately.
To be honest, though, I feel that in terms of the Avengers, they keep us going along with it. You know, with Spider-Man and stuff like that, they still manage to maintain us as an audience.
Mm.
But with Star Wars, maybe Star Wars is more precious. I don't know.
Well, I suppose maybe it's for you, and like much as Star Trek is for me, and you know I'm still.
But I mean for you as well, though, because you know you were really pumped up about Star Wars after The Force Awakens, and then The Last Jedi's come along.
It's just fallen flat.
Yeah,
I love what I've got and I've owned. I love the original trilogy, and I can sit and watch some of the episode 1, 2, and 3. I can sometimes watch some of that. I've got no problem.
Yeah.
But now,
and episode 7.
Yeah, but now that stories that those characters that we've grown up and love are coming to a close.
I don't have a problem with that. I have a problem with probably seeing it on screen, but that's a different thing.
Mm.
But you know, because I would much rather that they just weren't brought into it. But I know that Disney felt that there needed to be this handover, but I don't think that they did, to be honest. I think that they could have said, Han Solo's dead, you know, he died 5 years before the film takes place. Not a problem. Wouldn't have a problem with that. What I had a problem with was seeing him die on screen.
Well, that's just a personal thing, isn't it?
It is.
And we all got our heroes. Doesn't matter where they come from.
Yeah.
Whether you're a fan of say the Rocky movies for Stallone or whatever it's going to be, whatever your hero is and your childhood, you know. But I think for me, for Star Trek, it's different because they reboot Star Trek. It's not like they take too much of a tangent. As much as the TV show's always done that, but they've always worked.
It's not a continuation, but the other thing that makes Star Trek different is that we are used to regular Star Trek.
Yeah.
Because we had the TV show. Whereas Star Wars, we had it, and then we waited 3 years.
But you know,
and then we waited 3 years, and then we waited 18 years.
And the thing is, as much as Star Trek, I mean, when in its heyday of how Paramount was bringing it out in a roundabout fashion, it was pretty much churned out quite regular. I mean, Star Trek movies then were 2 years apart maybe, and the TV shows are going on in the background. So we were loving that we were getting constant Star Trek. And at the time then for Star Wars, that was a more of an event because they were coming out every random number of years. Yeah.
Well, it was like 18 years between the two, wasn't it?
Yeah.
The two trilogies.
And then,
I think that Bob Iger's done the right thing. I think there's still a lot of work to do, though, because they can't keep going down that rabbit hole that they went with the last movie. And this movie, Solo: A Star Wars Story, I would take this 100% every time above what the previous one was. It's still a good movie. I just don't feel that, I don't know, maybe it was just that awe of, in my own head, forgetting about the actor who played him, in my own head, seeing it on the big screen, seeing Harrison Ford there, do you know what I mean, instead? Whereas I don't know, it just didn't, it just wasn't as good for the second viewing, but it was still better than, well, the prequels, and it was still better, well, maybe not all the prequels, but still better than most of the prequels, and it was still better than The Last Jedi. It didn't deserve to not succeed at the box office, if you see what I mean.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Anyway, we shall move on, shall we?
Yes, we should.
So we're not going to have a debate this week. I think we need to really start to get into gear a little bit with the debates because we haven't done one of those for quite some time.
But then,
maybe do a special about it.
Maybe then again, they should be special because at the moment we're still doing a 3-hour show. And...
or certainly a couple of hours, yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, what time it takes us to do it, it's, you know,
yes,
you know what I mean? So,
that's true, yeah.
So it's a bit much, but if people want to have them as specials, then maybe we can throw it in midweek sometime.
Yeah, I'd be happy with that. Anyway, we'll move on to the listener questions.
John, what's happening to us?
All right, so first off, what I would like to say is, Mark, I hope you're feeling a lot better because he was really quite poorly last week with his back. But Mark has sent us in 2 questions, as always. So, first off, have your gaming habits changed in the duration of this generation of consoles? Your buying habits?
Probably in 2 ways. Because they now have 2 consoles, it's definitely changed.
Yeah.
But I think I'm still more digital now than I am hard copies for me. But again, that will depend on the game, and it will depend on the franchise as well.
But you were always very digital, weren't you?
Yeah. I mean, I've got a handful of disc games sitting there still, but I know it's nice to see them sitting on the shelf as well. That's the only thing, isn't it? You don't see that library list on your box itself. No,
it doesn't really look that good of, coming up with the installed 400, waiting for install 200. It doesn't really sort of have the same impact as if you had all of those cases laid out.
No, it doesn't. Mind you, I don't think I'd have the room, to be honest, at the moment.
No, I know what you mean. I'm running out of room. So, I mean, I think for me, I think I'm probably more digital than ever before in terms of consoles, because I've got shelves and shelves of Xbox 360 games and PS3 games from the last gen, whereas, I've got significantly less this time. But PC-wise, I don't have any PC box games. I haven't had for years.
No.
The last PC box game I had was Call of Duty Ghosts, which I got for $5 in PC World.
I think mine would have been something like SimCity back in the day, 2000.
Yeah, but you haven't been a PC gamer for nearly 20 years, have you?
I know. But then those days they were, big box cartridges, weren't they, for holding a small disc? Where now they're just codes half the time, isn't it?
It is, yeah, that's true.
So, yeah.
Do you want to do Mark's next question?
Yeah, it's interesting. What is the best value game-related purchase you have ever made? Can be hardware, accessory, peripherals, or any gaming anything.
Well, that's quite broad, isn't it?
Well, all right, while you're thinking about it,
yeah,
I'm going to put that PlayStation VR in there right now for now, to be honest.
Okay.
Because I'm thoroughly enjoying that with Star Trek.
That's going to come back and haunt you in a few weeks.
No. Because I'm looking forward to Ace Combat as well. So
yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
So there's a few. Can't believe I'm saying this. I'm looking out now for VR titles.
He's looking out for PlayStation VR titles, not just VR.
Yeah, I know.
PlayStation VR. Your blood's turning blue, man.
I think there'd be other people of the past podcast might be coughing up a lung.
Yep, I certainly think so as well.
Anyway, what about yourself?
I've had so many, it's so hard to actually...
I don't think you... this is a moment thing for me, so this is what I put in there, what I have. So...
I'm going to think, I think that the best value purchase that I ever made was the 360.
I was about to say that for you, yeah.
Because while I'd always still had a console, always, I've never had a gap. I was a big console gamer up until the PS1, and I was a big console gamer on the PS1, and then I transferred over to PC, but then I came back to PlayStation 1 again. I had a PS2 and a Dreamcast and an Xbox original, but that generation didn't inspire me. I think partly because on the PlayStation is because I think I had something the matter with my PlayStation. It wouldn't play DVDs properly. It would skip and stuff like that. And I never got that sorted out because it was outside of warranty. So I think that made me lose a little bit of faith in the hardware, generally speaking. And then I went for a good few years not bothering much with games. I would play the odd PC game, but really not do a lot. And then for some reason I decided, I'm going to get one of these 360s. And when I get the 360, I'm going to get a HD TV. And that was it. and I've not looked back since. And it just completely reignited my love for everything that I loved about gaming, and I had loved for years, to be honest. You know, because I would say I'm much more of a gamer now than I was 10, 15 years ago.
Okay.
A lot more of a gamer now. So, yeah, that 360 for me. All right. So we'll move on to Facebook, and we've got a new old listener question here. So welcome back to the group, Gavin Cooper. And Gavin is asking, hey guys, first question. I'm doing more and more work away, meaning hotel time with rubbish TV. Is the Nintendo Switch price tag value to solve my problems?
You think
asking a complete wrong person for you? Well,
I'm just going to say, do you know what? If I ever do start to do some working away again, I do occasionally have I will take that PlayStation Classic with me just to chill out. That'd do me. It'd be easy to plug in on a HDMI. So I'll put my penny's worth in with that, to be honest.
If I'm to be honest, I'm thinking that you're getting very rosy-eyed about the PlayStation Classic. I bet you won't play very much of it.
I prove you wrong. But no, it just, sometimes I used to play games with my phone when I go away from work away, and then I have a few movies on there and just sit and watch them. Yeah. It depends on how much time you've got, once you come back from wherever you're working and you've done dinner and that. But just for an hour or two, do you know what I mean? If you're away for a week or, then maybe. But what do you think about Nintendo?
I think the Switch is a good games console. I think that there's a really good variety of games. I haven't looked on the Nintendo store, to be honest, because while I don't own the console, my son does. And I've played his console rather than having one of my own. What I would say is, cartridge-wise, I think that the games are prohibitively expensive. £40-50 for a cartridge. Especially for the type of games that they are. Like, for example, £50 for Diablo.
Yeah.
I mean, really? It's Diablo. It's been out for how long?
Yeah. I think everyone's been moaning about that.
Yeah. So, to be honest, I think if you just want in a cheap gaming scratch, to scratch a gaming itch, I think that the Switch will really work well for you as a travelling companion and something to do on a night. But personally, I wouldn't want to game on such a small screen on an evening. Especially if, you're doing a lot of screen work or whatever during the day, if that's the nature of your job. I don't think I would want to then look at a 6 or 7 inch display and be playing a game on that all night. I mean, I know you could take the docking station with you and plug it into the hotel TV, but what I've heard, because I've not actually seen it, believe it or not, even though we've got a Switch in the house, how well that translates to a full screen TV, because my son never plays it that way. So I don't know what that would be like. I think the other thing as well is most of the really big games on the Switch, which you won't have played on other consoles, are all Nintendo games. Like once you've done Zelda and Mario Odyssey, what really is that you can do? I know that there are other games there, but what I'm saying is that the transfers from other consoles.
Yeah.
So you've probably already played them, or you've high likelihood of playing most of them. And then what is there, you're going to be playing a premium for. So I'm saying yes, but I think it's a false economy in comparison to getting a gaming laptop in the long run. Not in the short run. The short run, the Switch is going to be it's going to be more economical from that point of view, depending upon how many games you're going to buy. But if you're going to be, let's say for the next 2 or 3 years, you're going to be going around in hotel rooms 2 or 3 nights a week, every week. That's a long time.
Yeah. So
if that's going to be the case, I would say save your pennies a little bit longer, get a gaming laptop, subscribe to Humble Bundle, $12 a month. You get 5 or 6 or 7 games in each month. Normally, they've been out for a couple of weeks. You get a decent enough gaming laptop, one with a 1060 NVIDIA graphics card. It'll run all of them games for the foreseeable few years. You're laughing. Plus, you can surf the internet and all of that sort of stuff much more comfortably on that as a device. That's my point of view, how I would go if, I was that. But obviously it depends upon your budget and how much outlay you want initially. But I think in the long run, if you're going to be buying lots and lots of games, the PC's probably the cheaper one. I know that sounds ridiculous, but, £50 a pop, you're going to very quickly catch up to what, £700-800 laptop's going to be. It's only 10 games from, the point of the Switch, isn't it?
Yeah, true.
So, personal opinion, but that's what I would say. But there are a lot of good games on the Switch as well. Yeah. Okay. Are you going to do the next one, Terry?
It's quite apt, isn't it?
It is.
So, Terry Phillipson is saying, I've recently resurrected my PSVR and forgot what a good piece of kit. What are your game recommendations for the PSVR? Interesting. Let me think about that one.
Yeah. So you're going to say the heist, aren't you, then?
Yeah, not. Yeah, Star Trek VR, Star Trek Bridge Crew is amazing. That's what I'm going to say. I've ranted enough about that this week, so I'm sure he's got to this part of the show and I've answered it for him.
Yeah, well, if he hasn't worked it out yet, you're saying Star Trek.
Yeah, and I think even Adrian Parker his next guy, he was in the chat the other day as well. Because he's got it. He's got it as well. So there are other people out there.
I believe that Adrian's got this game. Not Adrian, Terry, but the Eve shooter, Valkyria, whatever it's called, that's quite a good game for VR, I think.
Apparently so, but don't you need the gun, don't you, for it as well, don't you?
No, because you're flying a ship.
Oh, Valkyrie, sorry.
Valkyrie, yeah.
Yeah, I played that on my Oculus on my phone, that one.
Yeah, that's quite cool. But I have to admit, while I've bought PSVR, I've hardly touched it after the first couple of days, just because I've just been too busy with other stuff. And it's just that whole thing of having to set it up and then trying to avoid the dog who's wandering around going, Dad, why are you waffing your arms all about with those funny, golf balls on sticks?
You look like a character for Thunderbirds.
Yeah, exactly. So that's kind of why I haven't really played it very much, to be honest.
You play it when everyone else is in bed. That's what I do.
Well, that's what I was going to do, but to be honest, by then I'm a bit tired and I'm sort of like thinking, I'll just have a go on Destiny or I want to finish Spider-Man or whatever it is. So, yeah. And anyway...
Go on.
Sorry, go on.
No,
go on. No, go on. I was going to go to the next question, so you say what you're going to say.
No, I was just going to say, I haven't tried the other game I've got yet, actually, which is the one in the mental institution.
Right. Is that because you're too scared to?
No, because I'm playing Star Trek, and that's what VR is actually made for.
See, I want to play Resident Evil, and I've got it as well,
mate. When it gets a little bit cheaper, I'll pick it up because I'll play it. I'll play it on easy because I've already played it anyway.
Sorry, how cheap do you want it? It's 15 quid in Argos.
Oh, it was 20 quid on the store, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Maybe when I'm next around and about, I might go and pick it up. But it's
well, besides that, you need to go and get that case that I've sent you the link for.
Yes.
You need to get it tomorrow before the price goes up, so get yourself Resident Evil as well. And we could compare it next week.
Because Resident Evil is a wicked game.
Yeah.
But again, you don't like scare. You don't like horror, do you? So.
No, I'm not. As a genre, I'm not bothered about it so much. But I'm quite happy to go through it. Do you know what I mean? I'm not. It's not because I'm scared.
Oh no, I didn't mean it like that. I mean, it just wasn't your bag. Not
like people we've said who was like, I couldn't cope with more than 2 minutes of it. I'm not bothered about that. It's the it's just not my preferred genre. It's like some people don't like science fiction.
Oh, there's plenty of those. Anyway, Adrian Parker.
Okay, Adrian is asking, have you ever climbed aboard the hype train for any game, film, gadget and regretted it afterwards, wondering, what were you thinking?
I can't think of anything, to be honest.
Really? So anything that's had hype with, you've thought's been marvellous?
At this moment in time, yeah, I can't think of anything that I've not regretted.
Did you get Far Cry Primal?
No, I didn't. I'm lucky.
I'm not using that as my example. Because you know what my example is.
Go on.
Fallout 4.
Yeah, okay.
That was my example. I really disliked the game. But I got completely suckered into the hype on it. And after I started playing it, I thought, why have I bought this? This is exactly the same as Fallout 3, but with slightly better graphics and not considerably more better graphics. And yeah, so for me, it was that. But to be honest, I've probably fallen into this trap loads. I think it's because I'm a sucker, to be quite honest with you. Film-wise, I can't think of any films that have been particularly suckered. Well, I'm sorry. I've already mentioned the film, haven't I? Got into all of the hype and all of the fan excitement for The Last Jedi. There we go. There's an example of a film.
Flat.
Yeah. Gadget-wise, Pocket PC. On my first Android phone, either one of those. Both are perfect examples.
Okay.
So you still can't think of any?
No, we'll move to the next question.
Okay. Go on then, you'd say, Paul.
The thing is, we haven't got all of it here.
Okay, I'll go and get it.
What did you do? Look.
It's because of the way that Facebook truncates part of the thing and says ...
So
see more.
So what he's saying is basically, so now this will not happen as much these days due to a lot of things being digital, but what's happened to you in the past? The opposite of lending someone something where you're almost forced to lend someone to watch it, but haven't got it back maybe? Is that where he's going with it?
There.
Still can't see it. Refresh.
Right, okay. I have refreshed. You refresh. I've refreshed and saved.
It's gone now. Look, here it comes.
Yeah.
So the opposite of lending someone is where you force to lend someone to watch, read or play basically something that raves on about something you say, ooh, you must check this out, and then the sales pitch. And on the whole, your experience for ages, but then when you borrow it under duress, and then when it sits under the TV staring at you for months, and you really think you must just give it back, basically. I think, yeah, I've been through that scenario many times. And
it's awful, isn't it, when you get it?
But then also, actually, you might buy something, might not even open it for a while.
No, I think he's saying that rather than you loan someone loans you something, saying you must watch this, you'll love it.
Oh, yeah. I've done that. I've given a copy of a movie to Glyn, for example, and I said, go and watch this. And he said, it's a pile of crap. But I say it's amazing. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Have you ever had that to you, though?
No, because I know, actually, funnily enough, Glyn keeps telling us to watch Shawshank Redemption. Yeah.
We're either completely in agreement that we're not missing anything, or we're missing out on the greatest movie of all time. You realise that?
Yeah, no. We did have a chat about that the other night, so yeah.
I just still have no desire to see that film.
Okay.
I think I've had this as well. People saying this is fantastic. This is the defining moment in filming, and I've gone, filming what? Do you know what I mean?
But again, it's down to your age. It's down to what genre you like. I know,
exactly.
I know, and people probably think we're bonkers because we love Star Trek or Star Wars so much, and they won't get it, and they think, oh god, they're chatting about that again now. You know what I mean? Sorry about that, but in this episode, due to the game, yeah. But it's taste. We've all got different tastes.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's like you can wax lyrical about football, and I'll go into a coma.
Yeah, actually, Spurs won this weekend. It was pretty good, but yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Well, we know you're not really a football fan. That's why you support Spurs.
Yeah, well, yeah. I need to check out FIFA 19 at some point.
Why just wait until it comes on EA Access and just get it for free?
It is now. I think it is already. Actually, I have to check it out.
Well, you get your 10 hours thing,
yeah,
don't
exactly.
you? Yeah.
Okay, Michael, is it your turn? Go on.
Yeah, so Michael Edwards, is Wreckfest for the PS4 on your radar? Are you looking forward to it? Will you be buying it?
Would you like to remind me what this game is?
It's a spiritual successor to Flat Out.
Which is?
A game
Is that the one sort of like Burnout?
A bit like.
Is it the one? Best bit about that was when you'd be able to do the crash mode.
Yeah, that was always really cool in there. But Wreckfest, it's by Bugbear Entertainment, published by THQ Nordic. Spiritual successor to the Flat Out series, and Destruction Derby, which was a cult on PS one as well.
Oh, okay.
So personally, not overly bothered, but about it one way or the other, to be honest. But this is coming out not only on PS4 but Xbox One and PC as well, I believe.
Oh, okay, multi-platform then.
It's multi-platform, yeah, multi-platform. I mean, it looks cool, and it looks like it's got sort of like destruction physics in it as well for the vehicles, which is always, gives it a bit more authenticity, doesn't it? But it's probably one of those ones of, I don't know, I'm not overly bothered about it. Once I start seeing people playing it, I might think, I'll give that a bash. But not at the moment. Evidently it got 75 out of 100 on PC Gamer.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah. What about yourself?
Don't know, really. I mean, I haven't played most of the car games I've played. Like, Forza, as I've said, played all the time. And I did love Burnout Crash Mode. That was really one of my favourites.
Did you get Burnout Remastered?
No, I didn't need to. No, I played the demo of it. The 10 hours, sorry. So that was good enough by me. So, yeah. But Wreckfest, we'll see. I'll look into that, see what it's like.
Yeah.
Is that the last question, isn't it?
That is the last question, yeah. We're a bit late on the ground this week, but that's fair enough. Nice and early finish for us for a change, and that means I'll probably be able to get the show edited in time for tomorrow.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to prison for a couple of days, so let me know.
Yeah, but you're going to work in prison. You're not being sent to prison.
No, I'm going to work in prison.
Yeah.
So.
Yes, I've been to prison working as well. That was an experience and a half. And yeah, did you have to do prison induction? So you got taught about shivs and all of that sort of stuff. And
I don't think I did have an induction, really.
Yeah, I did, because I was going teaching. Because,
I mean, I've crossed my paths with a few of the inmates before.
Yeah.
Which I'm not going to talk about. but yeah, it's all right.
No, I mean, it was a youth offending prison that I went into, because I was actually teaching the guards how to teach.
Oh, okay.
As it were. I was doing the City and Guilds, delivering that course, and went into the one that was in Northallerton, and it's now been demolished as a prison because they closed it down about 5 or 6 years afterwards. But it was a very surreal sort of experience. I had to get permission off the governor to be able to bring in a USB stick.
Yeah, no, I can understand.
And it really felt like I was at, sort of like having to ask permission from God. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I understand that in many ways.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's an interesting sort of experience, but there we go. Okay, so in that case, then we'll do the outro. Steve, do you want to give your contact details?
Yes, so Xbox at Steve007. Should I say at Steve007? No, at Steve007 for Twitter. Xbox is Steve007 PSID, the real Steve007. Email address for the show, which I still haven't set up right, which is, I do apologise about this, is, I don't even know what it is. Do you know, I've forgotten.
It's Steve007 at popculturegamers.co.uk.
Oh, thank you. I'm just feeling a bit worn for wear at the moment.
And my contact details are, my YouTube channel. Just search my name, Haydn Reece Jones. I'll put HERJUK in YouTube search engine. Twitter, HERJUK, PSN, Xbox Live or Steam, HERJUK. Email address is, just contact me on podcast at popculturegamers.co.uk, which is the show's general email address. We can also be seen on our website, popculturegamers.podbean.com, and there is our Facebook group, which is surprisingly enough called Pop Culture Gamers. If you want to follow the show on Twitter, then it's Pop Culture Gamer as well. And you can also ask your Amazon device to play the show as well if you really want to. But I'm not going to say that because it'll kick off everybody's Amazon's devices right now, including my own. So that's it for another show. So
good.
That's 25 in the bag. Plus special.
Yes.
Not bad at all. Not bad at all, considering where we were a year ago. Oh, well, less than a year ago.
Yep, and we're a little bit chilled out tonight, so yeah.
Yeah, definitely. So in that case, it's a good night from me.
And a good night from him. Good night.
Good night.
You are about to witness history in the making.